Good evening, Senator.
Good evening.
I guess nobody really expected the bill to pass, but the president at least was hopeful.
It didn't pass, and it's not a big surprise that it didn't pass, given the fact that we have to remember this president has brought us $800 billion in stimulus spending, $4 trillion in new debt, and that has given us 9.1% unemployment. These things have not helped the problem. They've made it worse. The president's job bill would have given us more of the same failed policies that have made matters worse.
All right, well, he was obviously ready for that vote because the ink was hardly dry on the vote when the president issued a statement. And among other things, the president's statement says that your party obstructed the Senate from moving forward on this jobs bill.
Well, that's interesting, given that it's his party that, during its time in the majority, has undertaken a process called filling the tree, far more than any other party during its control of Congress ever.
What does that mean, filling the tree?
It means that you block the other party from introducing amendments. The amendment process is the hallmark of the legislative process. It's the hallmark of open, robust debate. And when you fill the tree, you say you have to take this bill as is. You cannot amend it. You cannot have any other option other than to take it lock, stock, and barrel.
All right, he says that his bill, according to his statement, he says that independent economists, I'm not sure what an independent economist is these days, but anyway, he says independent economists have said that his bill would grow the economy and lead to nearly 2 million jobs. Don't believe it?
Don't believe it at all, because we have to look at history. We have to look at what this president's proposals have already brought us. What they've brought us is more unemployment. What we need to do is get government out of the way. We need more proposals like cut, cap, and balance. We need a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution to restrict what Congress can do. The federal government right now is consuming about 25 cents out of every dollar that moves through the American economy. That's too much. That's causing us problems, and it's bringing about unemployment. It's a big wet blanket on the American economy that we need to remove it.
All right, balanced budget amendment has a lot of support certainly by the Tea Party, a lot of Americans across the country, but the problem is the balanced budget amendment isn't going to fix things now for someone tonight who desperately needs a job. The president's job bill failed. Do the Republicans have one? What is it, and how fast can you get jobs for those Americans? Because we're really running out of time for them.
Well, look, there are things that we can do in the near short-term future, some of which the president agrees with. For example, I've heard the president say at least twice this year that we, as Americans, ought not have the highest corporate income tax rate in the world. We need to lower that, and we need to close some of those loopholes.
So he's for that?
Yeah.
So what's the delay on that part?
I am not sure. But what he's told us in the past is we have to pass his bill lock, stock, and barrel. We have to pass the whole thing, not just parts of it. We do need to reduce that part of it. I also am in favor of declaring some kind of a holiday or granting some kind of permanent relief for repatriation of income earned overseas by American corporations.
It's just being hidden in part by corporations because they don't want to bring it back. They don't know what to do, and they don't want to be taxed by it, right?
Exactly. And that's why I'm introducing legislation that would bring that tax rate down to 5%, not just temporarily, but permanently, so that we can encourage American corporations to bring that money back home where they'll use it to invest, and investment leads to job growth.
Right. This concept, he says, independent economists. I don't suppose you know who these people are, and I mean, the economists have not exactly led us in the right direction in the last couple of years. So any thought on independent economists?
Not all economists think the same way, and of course carefully omitted from that press release was the identity of those economists, whether particularly or as a broad class. He hasn't told us who they are. And so what we do know is that these policies, these same policies that he's now trying to push us to pass again, have made matters worse.
All right. He has now apparently in his last paragraph says he'd be willing to go for piecemeal, different parts of it. Are you willing to take his jobs bill and vote on piece by piece, or would you think it was a good idea, I should say?
Well, of course, you can't answer that question with a yes or a no without knowing the particulars of it.
But you could vote no on something. I mean, do you oppose the concept of voting on piecemeal? You may oppose whatever is in it, but...
No, to the contrary, I support that. I think piecemeal is what we needed all the time. That's why I got nervous a few weeks ago when we were listening to the president give his address to a joint session of Congress, when he intimated that we needed to pass the whole thing without any amendment. And I think that's dangerous. I like the piecemeal concept a lot better. That will allow us to find some common ground.
All right, Senator, thank you. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.